This just in. Tom Holland is gonna get a cameo in Spider-Man 3. Holy shit, I cannot believe it. It's nuts, it's wild, it's crazy. What is happening with this movie? I don't know. And it's 12:02 a.m. At the time that I'm recording this is Thursday. Yeah, I wanted to do a video on this. Unscripted, of course. Ooh, camera, come back to me. Thank you, thank you. Don't need my earpods in for this. So they announced today, well, not they. There was a reputable source. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Give me just one. Right, so look, let's see what we got here. Look. So this article comes out first thing, right in the morning. Like we got out from Molina last night or yesterday. That was the whole talk of the table. And then now it's looking like we're gonna get Charlie Cox. So this comes out, and then everyone starts freaking out on Reddit, saying that this is legit. And then, well, just because the guy that's reporting on it, Charles, I'm gonna murder this. Charles Villanueva reports on it and says that it's happening, right? And so that happened, and then all of the other sites just start freaking out about it, saying, "Oh, this is totally happening. Charlie Cox is coming back." And now, granted, I did a video on this over a year ago. It was a good rumor, good theory that and I'll put it in the description that Charlie Cox is gonna come and be Peter's lawyer. And you know, everyone's like complaining, "Oh, there's too many characters. There's a Spider-Man 3, Raimi Spider-Man 3 all over again, yada yada yada." And it's really not, though, if you think about it. I mean, yeah, we've got so far what we've got. Oh, and by the way, I guess they also, right before I started recording this, they also saw Toby on set today, I guess, for a costume fitting. Don't know how true that is. I mean, if it is true, holy shit, it's actually happening. Toby finally signed his freaking contract and is on set, you know, filming. And so, and I lost my train of thought, but I mean, the rumor was that Charlie Cox was coming back and he was going to be Peter's lawyer, and that was a good theory, and I did a video on it, and I'm not trying to plug it, I'm just, you know, speaking out of my brain, my head, my mind, what have you, and I thought it was a great idea. And, you know, back then, I think, I don't remember exactly how my video went, but I'm pretty sure this was before we even got close to, this is actually when Tom was like out of the MCU and they were still talking about it and things of that nature, I think. Or it could have been right around the time they re-announced him coming back. But my idea or theory was that, you know, he was going to be the one that wears Peter's suit, the Spider-Man suit, and they would swap costumes, or at least Peter gives Daredevil his suit and say, "Hey, look, can you be Spider-Man for a day? And I'll just, you know, you can just be walking around and doing whatever, and I'll be Peter. And that way, my name will be cleared." And I thought that would have been a great way to get Charlie Cox into the MCU. And that was that. That's simple concept, right? Really cool idea, simple concept. They couldn't do anything like that. They couldn't confirm anything like that back then because they wouldn't have the rights to Daredevil, so I guess they couldn't confirm any of that. But that was a long time ago. That was over a year ago. But like literally like a week ago, the rights to the Daredevil reverted back to Marvel. They had the rights, but they couldn't do anything. They had to have that 2-year cooling off period between the Netflix shows getting canceled and all that stuff. But now they have Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, and Daredevil. But I think just Daredevil's in the clear right now, and I think the others are still, they're on their cooling off period, but and Punisher. So but yeah, I think just Daredevil's clear. And so now we've got this article here, I'll pull it back up, that Charlie Cox is coming back. It's going to be in the MCU, and this will be the way to revive his character. And I'm sure the Save Daredevil campaign, in fact they did, they spammed the crap out of Save Daredevil. Excuse me, my mouth is really dry for some reason. And you know, they Kevin Feige has to know like that Charlie Cox's Daredevil is huge. That show was insanely successful. But now that we have Kevin Feige in charge of the TV shows and the movies, both, he can do whatever he wants. He's got this giant toy box, and he can just pull these characters and do whatever he wants with them. We got X-Men, we got Deadpool, we got we've got these low-level street Avengers, basically, the Defenders, you want to call them. And so now we can do these things, right? But people are complaining, saying, "Oh, there's too many people. There's too many characters in this." And while yes, you could be right, MJ, Emma Stone, Alfred Molina, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, Zendaya, Tom Holland, and then now Charlie Cox. It does sound a lot like on paper. Sounds like a lot. It sounds like a next level Endgame almost, in a sense. But they don't have to have these big long scenes. But I don't know about Andrew, but I know there's been things that I'm reading online that Toby would not just come back just to do a simple face shot, right? He's not going to just show up and do that, no. So this is what got me thinking. This is what really made me want to do this video. And I'll probably in fact, I'm going to do an in-depth video about this. My theory is that in the Morbius trailer, in the Morbius trailer, I got the photo pulled up here now. You can see that this is like a little screen cap of Tobey Maguire's suit, but it looks like it's a still from Spider-Man PS4. In fact, I'm 100% confident that's most likely what it is. And it says murderer on the wall there, and everyone thinks, oh, it's because everyone thinks that he killed Mysterio. My theory, though, is that actually what happened is, now that we've got Toby and Andrew coming back, if you go back and watch Spider-Man 3, you remember who dies at the end of that movie? Not Sandman. I mean, yes, Harry Osborn did die, but that's not who I'm talking about. I'm talking about Topher Grace, Eddie Brock. He dies. And they don't address it at the end of Spider-Man 3. He just disappears into the void, and they don't even question it. They could totally do that now. They could totally say that this person, and they don't have to, they could say it's an Eddie Brock from Toby's universe. It doesn't have to be the Tom Hardy's Eddie Brock. They could totally be like, oh yeah, this Spider-Man killed this character. Maybe Morbius is in a different dimension than Venom's. You don't know. They could connect all of this. And so essentially that's what I think they could be potentially doing. Not referencing Tom Holland anymore. They're referencing Tobey Maguire. Heck, you could even argue that might be Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. The suit looks similar enough, but that Spider-Man, let me pull it up here again. That Spider-Man, that looks like Tobey. Look at the eyes. I mean, there's no way it's not Tobey, right? But I mean, that's what they could do. They could say that Morbius is in a different universe than Venom, different Venom, right? I mean that's really convoluted. It could get pretty confusing. Or maybe they just completely retcon that Eddie Brock completely. Say, oh, that was a different Eddie Brock or whatever, and the alien suit got a hold of him, and now it's got Tom Hardy. Whatever, they could do whatever they want. This is the MCU, and this is the Marvel Universe we're talking about now. It's all connected. That's the whole thing, right? The whole thing that they've got going on with DC now. So they could easily say that, excuse me, I'm pulling my weapon again. That is what they're doing. They could easily do that. I need my water. Sorry. And say, oh, Tom Maguire, he killed this person that had the Venom symbiote. Or, that guy Topher Grace was playing, maybe he was just pretending to be Eddie Brock, and that was the wrong Eddie Brock. Who knows? But that's what they could do. They could say that, I lost my train of thought. I am terrible at this unscripted. They could totally say that that's Tom Maguire, and he killed a guy, and that he's the murderer, and that's not Tom Holland that they're looking at there. They could easily do that. And then that's how you connect Morbius and maybe Toby fight down the line. That's where I was getting at. Morbius and Toby fight again. Maybe Andrew fights him. Who knows? They could do whatever they want. This is intentional. This is 100% intentional. This right here, 100% intentional. Why would they do this? And you know, the theory was that they did this. Oh yeah, that's just a mock-up we threw up there. We'll fix it in post. Really though? Would it be really that hard to get a digitized photo of Tom Holland Spider-Man and just throw him on there? I don't think so. If they were rushing to get the trailer out, they could do it. They could totally do it. So why do this at all? Why throw fans for a loop like this? Unless this was their plan all along. Their plan was to get Tobey back. Their plan was to get Andrew back. And maybe this was a stipulation that Kevin Feige had with the Sony execs, Amy Pascal, and said, hey, look, we want Spider-Verse. We think that this has a huge draw, which it does. I mean, the internet is freaking out about this crap. It has a huge draw. I have a friend that is totally, he's done with superheroes. He stopped watching since Captain America Civil War. And if Tobey comes back, he said 100% he's going to come see this movie. So, and I'm sure there's other people out there in the world that are doing the same, that are sick of the MCU, and maybe they were fans of Spider-Man back in the day, and now they're, oh, Tobey might be coming back? I will totally go see that movie. You got my money. So, yeah, it's a huge draw for Sony. Andrew coming back, same thing. All in general, seeing all three of these Spider-Men interact with each other has they have enough to bounce off of each other. They're all different in their own way. Tom Holland, you know, his mentor was Iron Man. Tobey's, he's got the organic webbing, and his aunt is still alive. You know, Andrew, he screwed up, couldn't save Gwen. It's a conflict that, you know, I have to deal with, which, when that's where it gets a little weird, because they announced MJ coming back and Emma Stone, but Emma Stone's dead, so I don't know how that works. As far as I know, we know MJ isn't dead, but it would be really cool to see a seasoned Spider-Man, a seasoned Tobey mentoring Tom. Heck, maybe giving some pointers to Andrew, but I mean, who knows? I don't know how they're going to address these Spider-Man. Hopefully it's not just some crazy, they just pull them out of their own time zones their own dimensions at a certain specific time. I mean, you could de-age them, I guess, but, you know, that's not, Tobey's too old. I looked at the set photo. He's much older now. There's no way that they can just pull him out and be like, yeah, Tobey was just talking to MJ, like, at the end of Spider-Man 3, and that's where they pulled him from. I mean, maybe that's what they do, but I just don't see that. We want to see the seasoned Tobey, a battered down, worn out Tobey Maguire. And essentially that they played off that a little bit in Spider-Verse. That's what Peter B. Parker is. He's really just essentially a mix of all three Spider-Men. And he's aged, and he's gotten to the point where he didn't want to have a kid, and he had issues with MJ, and they broke up. And anyways, I could talk all night long about this. Point being, it doesn't have to be Tom in that photo. That's the main issue. Point I'm trying to make. God, I'm so terrible at unscripted videos. But there's just so much I want to say, and sometimes I feel like I can't really. I've got my water cap. Sometimes I feel like I can't really get it out on paper and convey what I want to convey. So I just felt like turning on the camera and talking about it. So yeah. So anyway, so the lineup is we've got just run it all back here. Tom Holland, Zendaya, Jamie Foxx, Alfred Molina, Kirsten Dunst, and Emma Stone. I think, yeah, Emma Stone, and Tobey Maguire, and Andrew Garfield. And the big complaint is that I'm bringing it full circle, everybody. The big complaint is that there's too many, right? Too many. But they don't have to have these huge screen times. I mean, they're gonna have some, right? Tobey and Andrew gotta have some. They're Spider-Man, right? Emma with Gwen, I'm not really sure how they're gonna handle that, but we know for a fact, you know, Alfred Molina, he's probably gonna be the leader of the Sinister Six somehow. Electro, definitely it's Jamie Foxx. He's not gonna just come back just for some simple pickup shot. So we know Tobey, Andrew, Electro, and Alfred Molina, they're gonna have their time to shine in the spotlight. And the rumors are it's gonna be in the third act. So we'll see what that ends up being. But as far as like the other characters go, like Kirsten and Emma, they don't have to They don't have to have any lines. They could just be in the background or something. And same with Matt Murdock. If Charlie Cox is truly coming back, I will freak out. I'll do a video on it again, and totally just have one of these videos, or maybe I'll script something. But either way, camera, I'm here. Thank you. Yeah, him coming back and defending Tom Holland's Peter for like 10 minutes in a scene. That's all we need. We don't need him to be in the whole movie. That would be enough for everyone in the theater to freak out. You see Charlie Cox. I mean, Charlie Cox alone would make the audience freak out. Then you had Tobey Maguire and Andrew showing up, freaking Endgame style, like Black Panther walking out of that portal. That's what's freaking gonna happen, basically, and it's gonna be nuts. It's gonna be wild, dude. I'll scream at the top of my lungs, dude. I'll be ecstatic. Like, Tobey's the reason I love Spider-Man. It's wild to me that if none of this is real, which it's really looking like it is. And us Spidey fans are really, really skeptical. But if it's not, I'm gonna cry, dude. I'm gonna fucking cry, and I'm gonna hurt whoever. I'm not gonna hurt anybody, but you know what I'm saying. Like, you know how I feel. This is how I feel. I'm very passionate about this. But anyways, I'm gonna wrap this up here. Point of the video is Daredevil coming back. That's exciting as hell because I love Charlie Cox, and I hope this opens the door for some of the other defenders, because John Bernthal as Punisher was also phenomenal. 5 out of 7, hands down. I hope Disney Plus, which I would think that with Deadpool coming back, or not coming back, with Deadpool showing up in the MCU, they're gonna have to have some sort of darker section of Disney Plus, or an adult section, or at least throw it on Hulu or something. So why not do that with Daredevil, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and definitely the Punisher? Why not do that? Ghost Rider. Am I missing anybody? Any darker Avengers characters? Why don't we have any of that? I mean, Moon Knight, isn't that supposed to be like a darker show? I mean, probably going to be PG-13, but you know what I mean. They got to have like an adult section for all these darker heroes, because Charlie Cox's Daredevil, he ain't no PG-13 hero. All those characters were fully rated R-ish on the Netflix platform, and it worked. Worked really, really well. 12 episodes, about 1 hour long. You know, didn't go too over the line, but it was there. It was there, and it was great, and it worked. Everyone loved it. Daredevil was a freaking hit. So, if this is true, very smart play by Marvel, and I'm not worried. Kevin Feige, they dealt with Civil War and Endgame. If it was just Sony handling this, yeah, I would be like, this is going to be shit. But with Kevin Feige, I almost said Feige, with Kevin Feige involved and them calling the creative shots, it's late at night and I can't talk. Calling the creative shots, I really think that we're gonna get something special. And who knows? We could get Spider-Man 4 out of it. We could get TASM 3 out of it. They could do whatever they want now. They're essentially canonizing all the Spider-Man, the Spider-Verse. So, yeah, Sony is, they're gonna do something. And then they don't have to explain why Tom needs to crossover with Tom Hardy or any of that. I mean, who knows what we're going to get? Who knows at this point, dude? Anything goes now, right? Maybe all 3 Spider-Man show up in Maximum Carnage. How wild would that be? Who knows? But anyway, I could ramble about this crap all night long. So I'm going to cut it here, but I just wanted to do a video. I just want to turn the camera on and just speak my theories. So leave a comment if you want. We can discuss. I'm curious to know what you think. We can talk about it in the comments. But anyway, I'm going to sign out here. But yeah, it's been fun. And remember, with great power comes great responsibility. I'm Dual Dyer, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, I'll talk to you later. Good night.